The Moon. The brightest and largest object in the night sky. It is the closest large body to Earth in the solar system. At a distance of only 239,000 miles. The Moon is the only celestial body on which humans have set foot. Exploration of the lunar surface by spacecraft began in 1959 with the Soviet Union's Luna program. Luna 1 failed to land on the Moon. However, Luna 2 did succeed in landing, becoming the first artificial object ever on an extraterrestrial body. Several unmanned lunar probes followed those pioneering missions during the following 10 years. Just a few years later, in 1969, a great milestone was reached. The Apollo 11 lunar module landed 2 astronauts on the Moon. For the first time ever, a human being walked on a celestial body besides Earth.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Since then, 12 others stepped on the Moon in the different Apollo missions. The last one, Apollo 17, was launched in 1972. It marked the end of the Apollo lunar mission. After that, for several decades, the Moon as a priority target disappeared from the programs of space agencies, and human beings didn't walk on the Moon again. Given the fact that it's so close to Earth and considering our interest in exploring space, why didn't we go back to the Moon?
This was in a totally different time than we are today. This was in the time of race in space. It was about prestige. It was about showing the power and the possibilities a nation has.
Nevertheless, in 2009, something happened that changed everything and encouraged space agencies and private companies to start once again to develop manned missions to the Moon after so many decades of lack of interest. That year, the Indian Space Research Organization's Chandrayaan-1 probe made a surprising discovery that put the Moon in the spotlight. It discovered the widespread presence of water molecules in the lunar soil, overturning theories that had stood for 40 years.
The Chandrayaan-1 mission was a very special turning point in the exploration of the Moon.
Some of the payloads on that mission conclusively verified the presence of water ice. Just 2 months after that, in November 2009, NASA reconfirmed water on the Moon with its Lunar Crater Observation and Sensing Satellite Space Probe, which detected large quantities of water ice.
We are talking about scooping something, melting it, and water. You know, that makes a big difference to get water that you can drink, that you can live by, water. The Indian mission clearly showed a sign of water, not as composites of minerals or anything like that, just water.
In March 2010, it was reported that the Minisar on board Chandrayaan-1 had discovered more than 40 permanently darkened craters near the Moon's North Pole that are speculated to contain an estimated 600 million metric tons of water ice.
This was quite revealing because for about 30 or 40 years, there's been debate. There's been a growing debate about, is there water on our Moon?
If future research finds large enough quantities of water ice, it could be turned into liquid water for drinking and plant irrigation. It could also be split into hydrogen and oxygen with the energy provided by solar panels or a nuclear generator. The hydrogen might be used as rocket propellant and the oxygen for breathing.
NASA now After the Chandrayaan-1 mission, they have gained the support to put together a mission to go to the surface of the moon. They're going to put a rover on the moon that has the ability to scoop the material and examine it. And I think that will convince everybody that there's a lot of water on the moon.
Nowadays, thanks to this discovery, human beings are thinking of going back to the moon again after many years. In fact, the moon might become our first space colony in the near future. We have the technology and the know-how we need to do it. But what drives human beings to consider settling a colony beyond the Earth? There are several reasons that lead us to suppose that, sooner rather than later, human beings will go beyond the boundaries of the Earth to settle somewhere in the solar system.
We've done this everywhere on this planet. We've colonized every place that we could possibly colonize on this planet. So it's a kind of genetic thing.
The rise in population is causing an increasing need for resources. The Earth is becoming too small for so many inhabitants.
Population on Earth has become a controversial problem now for a long time, starting with the limits to growth movement.
We need to find more raw materials to support our whole population and so that civilization could keep on progressing. Those resources are out there.
There's enough material in the asteroid belt to build beautiful space colonies with a total land area 1,000 times that, the surface of the Earth. A habitable volume capable of sustaining a human population of 1 trillion people, which gives us the promise of humanity expanding, growing, and thriving for at least another 1,000 years.
On the other hand, there are hazards now that lead us to think that we may have to leave the Earth someday. Climate change has become one of the greatest dangers humanity has ever faced, and could lead civilization as we know it to its destruction if we don't stop it in time.
We should do exploration because it's in our genes to be curious, but at the same time we should save our planet as much as we can, and through exploration we can learn about our planet.
Undoubtedly, there is in human beings an internal impulse that makes them explore new frontiers. Now, our next step could be the moon. The discovery of water there, an indispensable element for life, was the key factor that lets us consider our satellite as a possible future home.